I'm Reese Stein at your leisure on the Rhine River in Germany aboard the cruise ship Swiss Tiara. Now, we weren't supposed to be, but our ship crashed en route to picking us up and our cruise was canceled. But Fred went down to the dock, knocked on a few doors, and found rooms available on this boat, so we're off and running. In all of recorded history, the name of the mighty Rhine has been sacred to Germans. A magic place that has served as the major artery in an economic engine that has powered Germany for centuries. As well, it is a mystical stream filled with castles, myths, legends, and song. It is the Vaterland am Rhein, and has attracted this boatload of Germans, drawn to its charms as though the current itself was pulling them back to their heritage. Why do Germans come on a cruise on the Rhine in Germany?
Because they have seen America by skiing, and now they want to see their home country, and the Rhine is one of our longest rivers, and so we have to be on Father Rhine.
The Germans are joined by 6 Americans, stranded when their original cruise boat crashed one day before we were set to board. Our cruise, operated by Grand Circle Travel, was canceled, and we were left literally standing on the dock in Amsterdam. Other members in our party were abandoned at the Amsterdam and New York airports, their plans canceled by Grand Circle, and no one available to explain why. We were forced to scramble to find out the whats and wherefores. John Cameron sums up our feelings.
Devastated. It just seemed like all of a sudden the rug had been pulled out from underneath us, and what are we going to do? You know, what are our options? Then luckily, Fred found an option that turned out to be exceptionally well.
The 6 of us already in Europe were luckier. Fred Svar went knocking on cruise ship doors and found Plan B.
I just decided I'd wander down to the river because my logic was if we wanted to be on a boat, the place to look would be the river because they have a lot of boats there.
Fred's wife Joan was skeptical but supportive.
He says, all I know is there is a cruise, don't ask me any more questions, we'll go talk to them. But here's an alternative and maybe we can do it, and here we are.
Here we are, 8 days with half a dozen stops. The first 2 days through the Amsterdam Canal and Upper Rhine are not particularly scenic. This is the industrial Rhine of power plants, cement factories, and oil tankers.
I didn't have any idea how much goes on the Rhine River, and having seen all the barges, all the different ships carrying different materials up and down the Rhine, it's really been fascinating.
But to John Cameron, the Salt Lake builder, it's the magnificent churches built before modern technology that stirs his senses.
The largest thing that I enjoyed was seeing the cathedral in Cologne. I was really impressed with the structure of that building and how it had to be put together, and considering that it was put together 400, 500 years ago, and the technology that existed at that time had to be pretty technically savvy.
50 kilometers upstream, we pass the fabled bridge at Remagen, the remains of the only bridge still standing when the American Army reached the Rhine in March of 1945. It provided the first access to the German heartland, although it collapsed 10 days later, killing 28 Americans. And finally, 4 days into the cruise, we hit the highlight, the romantic Middle Rhine. The gorge narrows, and we cruise past picturesque medieval towns and vineyards, and more than 40 castles and fortresses. Marksburg Castle, with its high hat tower, is the only hill castle that has never been destroyed in its 700-year history. One of my favorites is the tiny castle Pfalzgrafenstein, a ship-shaped castle on a midstream island perfectly situated to exact tariffs from passing ships. This is the famous Lorelei Mountain on a narrow spot on the Rhine River where legend says a beautiful siren lured many a mariner to a rocky doom.
I see so many castles. They're on the left, they're on the right. It's just amazing how many there are and the condition they're in. And, you know, that's what Americans dream of, castles in Europe.
Gorgeous gorge with beautiful castles. And a gentleman giving us description of the castles and giving us a history of the castles, all in German. prefer solid hours. We did not understand a thing he was saying.
Noch die Frau an Bord, die meiste Arbeit hat.
I like Koblenz, where the Rhine and the Mosel come together. An amazing monument and then a wonderful, wonderful basilica.
Although this one was probably not my favorite, river cruises themselves offer the chance to travel at leisure to many places without having to pack or unpack. Your food, entertainment, city tours are all planned with free time to wander about the towns.
If you want to see the country that's on a river, it's the perfect way to do it.
Memories are also included at no extra charge.
Of all the things on the trip that I'll remember is the kindness of these people in all the countries to stranded strangers.
Our Rhine River cruise ends here in Strasbourg, France, but not our European adventure. We've still got 10 more days with no real plans to wander around Europe. But maybe that's a story for another time. I'm Rhys Stein, at your leisure in Strasbourg, France. Au revoir.